Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. We beat a small team. We did it. We actually beat a small team. It's crazy. It's crazy to say. Funny that we're having to say that as Inter fans, but it's true. This Inter team, this psychopathic, this inconsistent Inter team that has been flopping against the smaller, so-called smaller teams, came through today, and my prediction. It's been rare this season, but my prediction was spot on. I predicted a 2-0 victory with a Lautaro goal, which happened as well. But I predicted a Denzel or Gosens goal, which didn't quite happen. But at least Denzel got an assist. So all around, very, very happy. And speaking of Denzel, we're going to speak about Denzel a lot today because he was a very, very interesting. He had a very interesting performance today. Very Inter performance from Denzel. Jekyll and Hyde. First half very, very bad, but second half came through, stepped up with an important assist. And this picture, to me, this picture really, really important, man. Really, really important. Like, this guy knows Denzel was starting to get a lot of flack, especially in the first half from the crowd. The boos were starting to ring in. Some of the decision making, quite rightly, was frustrating the fans. But after the assist to Lautaro, Capitano Lautaro keeps more and more convincing me as a captain, pointing to Denzel, telling the crowd, this is the guy, respect him. And I love it. Whatever you think of Denzel, I clowned him on Twitter today after that slip, but I always say, like, I don't like it when the fan base starts to scapegoat a guy. Like, people were talking about, oh, sell this guy straight away or take him off at halftime. I'm glad Inzaghi didn't take him off at halftime and he turned it around in the second half. And yeah, convincing performance all around. This is the best way to bounce back. And by the way, guys, I have shared the link in the chat. If you want to join me, call in. I want to hear from you guys as well today. So join into the show. Only if you have a good internet connection and some good audio or lighting. Like, I don't want to. Yeah, if you're on the underground or if you're on the bus or something, like, yeah, don't do it. But if you got a nice setup going, it'd be good to hear from you guys for sure. But let me give a quick shout out to the people in the house. Giro Zappelli only watched 75 minutes. Those horrible souls that make team horrible. Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Zanotti. But yeah, Inzaghi, like, it's got to the point now where, like, I don't even like see the point talking about it, but we have to talk about it. Like, it's so frustrating, the fact that Asllani, like, I already know because of the fact that he only sees him as the vice Brozovic or vice Hakan, and now there's two guys in front of him in that role for the CDM. So that means that he's not getting any minutes unless both of them, like, somehow get some disease or something this year. He's not seeing any playing time. Gagliardini, a guy whose contract is expiring at the end of the season, getting minutes over him. Bellanova as well. He's playing D'Ambrosio in 2023. Another guy whose contract is expiring. We don't know his long-term future at Inter. He's still choosing to play D'Ambrosio over someone like Bellanova. Very, very frustrating. Franco says, finally, more than a decent performance against a small team. Exactly, Franco. Exactly. It was needed. And yeah, we know with this Inter team, it wasn't guaranteed either. So we'll definitely take it. Definitely not taking anything for granted from this Inter team this year. And, the table, once again, thanks to Milan farting yesterday. We'll see what Roma do. Lazio even got a result against Napoli, surprisingly. So we're back in the title race, guys. Only minus 15. Come on. We can do that. I can't even, like, maintain the fakeness for like 2 seconds. Is ridiculous. But, at least the table looks better right now. Clean sheet is always good to see. Clean sheet is always nice. Always enjoy a clean sheet. So that's great. And we've got someone coming in. Someone's used the link. Mahdi,
What?
my brother, joining in. How's it going, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling? How is this Inter team? Did you watch the match today?
I did watch the match, and I have learned hardly that you cannot look forward to a game and go out of your way to watch an Inter game because you get punished very hard. But but I decided to watch the game again, but I didn't go out of my way. I think they did fine but I expected a little bit more, especially from Inzaghi going up 2-0.
Mm,
I think you just mentioned, you touched on it a little bit, of there's not literally no risk, and why you keep Dzeko for 90 minutes, why Kerr
mm,
sitting on the bench, why uh, D'Ambrosio, after that stupid mistake against Bologna, gets
mm.
rewarded with another sub appearance instead of Bellanova. So these are question marks. And if Inzaghi always boasts himself as someone who adds value, you're adding zero value in not helping any young player. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a great point there. Like, if Bellanova, let's say Bellanova made that mistake against Bologna, we know that he wouldn't have been given another chance, would it? But like D'Ambrosio made that mistake and slotted straight back into the team. Like,
yeah,
frustrating, very, very frustrating. Um, Ahmad, so I tweeted when Hakan took that free kick and he hit the wall. I don't know what you think, Mehdi, but when Hakan steps up for a free kick, I just know this guy's hitting the wall. And he reminds me of Cristiano, like Ronaldo. Like when he steps up for a free kick, like I know he used to have this reputation back in Bundesliga days, but
yes, yeah.
it is like that's done, that's dusted. Like when this guy steps up for a free kick, I know this guy is hitting the wall. So I know Hakan FC and Ahmad as the president of Hakan FC is not happy about that comment, but yeah.
True, but remembering what we had to go through after Schneider left Inter and before Hakan coming in, we literally had no free kick takers. It was Brozovic for the longest time, and even Perisic. But now we are a little bit spoiled with having Dimarco and
Mm.
Hakan taking.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, it's funny, like his reputation as like this free kick master. But no, bro, yeah, we definitely. I remember I when it was like Brozovic scored like a Benevento. It was just like, oh my god, we scored a free kick. It's crazy. We've been lacking in that department. So yeah, no. I am happy that at least we got the likes of Dimarco. But I want to see Barella. But it's weird that Barella, he scored that free kick against Udinese at the beginning of the season. Then we haven't seen him on a free kick since. I was like,
Yeah.
give this guy give this guy some chances as well.
We don't want to give Varela another topic to fight other Inter players. So I'm not sure. So I don't think you did a match prediction for Lecce, or I missed it. But what were you predicting happen in this game?
Yeah, no. So I mentioned this at the beginning. I did 2-0 predictions. So for
Good.
once, I got it right. Because if you think about it, this Inter team, the inconsistency is very consistent. So like after a big game, we know that we're gonna drop off, but after a loss, usually we bounce back. So today they did exactly that. We bounced back after the Bologna loss. What was your expectation?
No, I knew that they were gonna come back, and it was a home game, so I felt a little bit better. Yeah, I was like, when Zanotti came in at 90th minute, I stood up and clapped for Inzaghi.
So, yeah, Primavera.
Career for giving Zanotti 3 minutes. So
Yeah,
congratulations to him. But we are. I don't know if you want to tell everyone the schedule coming up for Inter is going to be very very difficult period for us. So we
yeah,
got
we can talk about it.
Spezia on Friday, and
Away.
it's going to be Porto, Juventus, and Fiorentina. So
Yeah. Fiorentina who are starting to pick some form back up as well. So not a not an easy match as well. And yeah, Spezia, they have the new manager bounce as well at the moment. They're looking okay. I think they drew 0-0 today, but still tricky team. We know the small teams, so we're not gonna. I'm definitely not predicting an easy win. That's for sure. In my match prediction, that's 100% guarantee. And then yeah, Porto. Hopefully by then, I don't know what's happening with Skriniar and Dimarco, but hopefully by then
mhm.
they return back. But speaking of Dimarco, let's get into the match today, bro. Gosens, more signs of life. Like against Bologna, for me, he was man of the match. I mean, obviously, it was like picking the best of the worst of a very bad bunch. But Bologna, good signs, and then today again, good signs from Gosens. What are you making of Robin Gosens?
Yeah, I think especially his the way he works, it's telling that he's the one who probably works the hardest in the training. He's the fittest. I always cheer for players like this
Yeah.
that work really hard and then work like kind of impose themselves on the head coach to make him play. This one wasn't really imposing because Dimarco was out, but I think this year he started very well and he definitely deserves to be actually in real contention with Dimarco.
Mm.
Dimarco really grew on me. I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but I think he really started playing much better for us
Yeah.
and and in terms of creation, I still think Dimarco is creating more than Gosens, even at his current form. But it's good to have not have a drop off when like one of them is not on their A game or one of them is injured. For this case,
Yeah.
I wanna give a shout out to Denzel. I know like he is controversial between our fan base, but I still think this guy he adds a little bit to our team. Yes, every like he was unlucky that he stepped in for Ashraf Hakimi. He's a like top two or top three right wings in the world, so it's not easy to step in for a player like that. And
Yeah.
yes, he passed back a lot, but at least he attempts to make some dribbles. And
Yeah.
I an Inter fan for a long time, going through the likes of Jonathan's and Nagatomo and to me Denzel Dumfries is it's or even D'Ambrosio. Then Denzel Dumfries for me is it's a good player comparing to what we had for the past 10 years.
Yeah. No, he's a very polarizing player this season, especially because I always maintain like he had a good, very good debut season last year.
Mhm.
And he isn't my type of player, but I like him because he did the way he plays, with the heart. He does, put in a lot of effort, but we know he has limitations, very clear limitations that this year for some reason they're like we're seeing them more than we did last year. These like technical and decision making. Like, I mean, this one. I mean, I hope I don't get copyrighted, but this was the moment when he slipped over. When we had the counter attack. Mkhitaryan is pointing to him. He's giving him the instruction, and this guy, um, but the funny thing is, I don't think he even was looking to pass to him. I think he was actually looking to turn back, as he often does, which is the frustrating thing with Dumfries. It's like, bro, just go. You're quicker, you're faster than most of these guys in Serie A. Just use your power and just go attack these guys. Like, we'll forgive you for like at least trying, like at least try. Um, but in the second half, as we said, he was really bad in the first, but in the second half he did step up, and then he provided a nice assist for Lautaro, which I have the image for here. Cuts it back straight into Lautaro's path, and Lautaro finishes it. Lautaro's finish actually was a little bit funny. If you saw the back angle, it looked like he actually like hit it onto his other foot, right?
Yeah, it looked weird, but again, that took me to your comments about Lautaro. If it's off the first, no, like the first touch,
Yeah.
that's world class. But if he has to take a touch and do it, then like he's not going to be great. So
Yeah. No, yeah, he's a first touch is just like, yeah, with Lautaro is almost like guaranteed that he's gonna, hit the target or like have a good shot. Um,
correct.
yeah. No, I mean Dumfries again, like he's not like lightning quick, but Balkan Warrior, but compare him to the rest of our team, he's like,
Mhm.
he's the Usain Bolt for the compared to like the likes of
D'Ambrosio.
Damian or all these other guys that we have on the wings. Um, and yeah, guys, let me remind you quickly before we continue to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. One of the disappointing, yeah, Gosens was good. Dumfries recovered in the second half, but Dzeko is really worrying now. Like, he's looking like that tired, finished the Dzeko that we saw in the second half of last season. I said before the game that I don't blame Inzaghi if he starts Dzeko over Lukaku, because Lukaku hasn't shown anything, apart from the Porto game. In the Bologna game, he didn't show too much, but this Dzeko, like now it's like it's a problem. You can't be starting if Dzeko is like this. You can't be starting him, right?
Yeah, To me, Dzeko, like sometimes he comes in clutch.
Mm,
Me, Dzeko is a better sub than Lukaku because Lukaku takes a while for him to get going. So
yeah,
for me personally, is start Lukaku when he gets tired, bring in Dzeko at the 60th minute, and he usually have a better impact than
yeah,
opposite. But again, this was a match against Lecce, so I don't really blame Inzaghi to go with either or whatever he saw in the training, or like whatever the physical condition of our strikers are. But what I blame him for is not giving a chance to Carboni to play for 15 minutes. It was his birthday. Give the kid at least a birthday. Give them
oh really?
for 15 minutes. Yeah, I think a couple of days ago it was his 19th birthday or 18th birthday. Yeah,
Yeah, and he got a call up to the Argentina national team.
that's. I thought he was Italian, so that's something new for me to learn. But good for him, and maybe he steps into the for and makes the life for Julian Alvarez harder. So
Yeah, yeah. No, oh, we've got speaking of Denzel, we've got Denzel in the house here. Stop the Dumfries slander.
Denzel, I defended Dumfries, so we have someone who's backing him here at least.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I definitely. I mean, I clown Dumfries a lot, especially on Twitter. He's just a funny player, man. Like he's just
Player.
like. But I do back him, like, and I'm happy that he did bounce back in the second half. Like I'll back every single one of our players, even Gagliardini. So it's as long as Denzel is here. But the one thing is, it's like, yeah, selling him, like as people are saying, like if he keeps performing like this, we're gonna start to struggle to like sell this guy. Like, I mean, as much as we say, like, obviously Premier League teams will overpay for players anyway, but if the scouts are tuning into games, they'll be like, questioning spending more than 30 million on this guy at the moment.
As long as he can rack up his stats, he added
Yeah,
this to his stat. Like as long as he can rack up the stats, it would be nice that like we can have that cozy feeling that we can sell this guy.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I'm sure like Mehdi was joking anyway about the birthday thing, but I know Mehdi is a big proponent for the Primavera boys. If
Yeah.
it was up to you, if you were in charge, you would just let the whole Primavera just.
Well, after I saw what happened in Bologna game, I would play the whole.
Oh yeah, yeah. Games like that, you're just thinking like, yeah, just like these guys don't even deserve to be playing. Like put the young boys in.
But we're not
Um,
the charity. But if Dzeko, the 36-year-old player who's tired, he can
mm,
play 90 minutes, and in on your bench, the only striker available after Lukaku, who was already subbed in, is Carboni. So yes, I was joking a little bit about giving him his birthday gift, but you have a tired 36-year-old striker who's not performing well. Who's next on the line is going to be this younger player. You're not taking a huge risk. You're 2-0 up, and you can definitely play this player. So
yeah,
that's
100%, bro. Another guy I want to speak about, because in the preview, I was like, I'm getting frustrated with Inzaghi also continuing to play Mkhitaryan, but he did make his usual, like, a lot of mistakes. Like, there was one mistake that he made, that the Lecce almost got into the goal. And yeah, like he's always a bit dangerous when he's receiving ball like deep for us. But he did step up. He came through. Barella with the assist, and nice placed finish into the corner from Mkhitaryan. So yeah, I guess Inzaghi's decision in the end. I mean, even if it was Brozovic or anyone, I would expect them to be able to make a good shot on goal from this position. But his decision paid off. What do you think about him starting
yeah,
Mkhitaryan?
that's true. But you think about it this way: that like if he starts Brozovic, Hakan would be in that exact spot, and if I want to pick any player in that spot in that situation in our team, would be Hakan, who would take this shot as well.
Mm,
But I think what happens, and why I'm trying to put myself in Inzaghi's mind, he's made his mind up with like what his starting trio of the midfield is, and
yeah.
at this point, whether we like it or not, it is Barella, Hakan, and Mkhitaryan. So to me, the best would be Brozovic, Hakan, and Barella, but that's Inzaghi. And when Inzaghi, we all know when he makes his mind up on something, he's going to just go all the way.
Vision. Yeah. But yeah, but I do like, because I've always said like I'm not too much of a fan of Hakan as the Midzala. I do like what Mkhitaryan adds.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a little bit of a different profile to the other guys. But at the same time, like 6-7 games in a row, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, you should be able to see physically this guy can't handle this many games. But yeah, at least today it paid off. Today it paid off. So I'm not
No, I
gonna.
really like this to be an experiment that Asllani jumps into the right side for Barella, and Barella plays a little bit more attacking in the Mezzala role. I really want to see that trio of Hakan, Barella, and Asllani, but
Yeah,
we all know that.
he's just like, I don't know. Yeah, like he's only sees Asllani as the CDM, and now there's two guys in front of him.
Yeah.
It's just so. Yeah, he clearly you can see he's got attacking tendencies, Asllani. So I don't understand why he only sees him in that position. Because he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, with the all other players, with Darmian, he'll move him around because he's adaptable. We've seen like Dimarco used to move him around. Even Barella. Remember, Barella used to be our vice Brozovic before, like under Conte and under Inzaghi at the beginning. So it doesn't mean like he can only play one position in his life. Like that's his only position. So it's very frustrating. But we know, like now, I don't think Asllani. I don't think we're gonna see Asllani to the end of the season now. To be honest, like if that's his opinion that that's his position, then there's no. Then I agree. Like if you see him as only as the CDM, then obviously you can't be starting him ahead of Hakan and Brozovic. But then, yeah, I'm frustrated on that one.
Frustrating to me is from following Inter and reading the interviews and knowing Asllani's personality. He's one of those kids that work hard. He has the mentality, everything right. Lukaku talked a little bit about Asllani in the beginning of the season.
Mentality.
Yeah, but his this kid's work ethic is, so it's frustrating that.
And he probably stays quiet. Like he's not one of those guys that like will like say something. I think he's just gonna like stay zip quiet, just keep working, but like not make a fuss. Which maybe he should start to make a fuss. Maybe he should tell them like, bro, I can also play mezzala. Like I can play.
So in terms of our financial situation and Gagliardini leaving, how who do you think is going to be coming in? I know you talked about you like to see RR, but realistically, do you think you're just going to take back Sensi and call it good?
I don't know. I think the Sensi, it seemed like Inzaghi and Sensi, there doesn't seem to be a good relationship there. I know, like I think Inzaghi rates him, but there was clearly like even when he came back from injury, he wasn't playing Sensi, and then he was loaned out. Even though in reality, we probably should have kept him that year, that season. He would have been useful even with all his injuries and stuff. So if we can get anything out of Monza for Sensi, I think they will probably try to do that. But yeah, there seems to be, those few guys available on a free. But by the looks of it, whether you agree or not, it seems to be Frank Kessie seems to be that guy that they're looking to like. I don't know. It just seems to be one of those. There's too many like rumors about this that it seems to be written in the stars that they're gonna put Brozo out and the Kessie in. I think they're gonna do that type of Arthur Pjanic type of swap, which I'm not a fan of, but financially it probably makes sense.
Well, let me talk a little bit in favor of that because I kind of like that, and it's because Kessie, I think, is 3 to 4 years younger than Brozovic, and I think we kind of lack, especially when Gagliardini leaves, we will lack that physicality presence in the field. So Kessie would also provide that as well, and maybe like Hakan, like he jumps in to the other side of the city and he works out for us because he probably going to have that chip on his shoulder to kind of prove himself, because I think Milan also had a chance to pick him back up or show interest, but they are refusing to. So he might have that little bit of chip on his shoulder to prove to them that that's the case. So
yeah, and he's like on Twitter I posted, actually it was funny. So I posted a video yesterday on my Twitter about Kessie doing So he was interviewed by Barcelona at the beginning of the season, and I'll share it quickly. So yeah, he says like, "What's the hardest team you faced?" He says Inter. And who's the hardest opponent you faced? He says Brozovic. And then I found this other interview where the Spanish guy asks him, "What's the rival player that you would most like to have on your team?" And he says Chananolu. So he's like, a lot of like little signs that point towards him. And there's those pictures of him back in the day when he was wearing an Inter kit that people always like to bring up. Um, it's funny. And then actually Gazzetta, I saw today they made an article with talking about these videos. So they like this is the level of journalism in Italy, by the way, guys, that they picking up Uncle Sharma tweets for like making articles on Gazzetta. So these are the people that we use as sources. They're using Twitter accounts like me to create their news and stuff, which is funny.
Well, to give it a little bit of background, so when we bought Mr. Gagliardini from Atalanta, I think for close to 30 million, uh, Kessie replaced Gagliardini on Atalanta.
Yeah.
And Milan, I think we were also kind of connected to him as well, but
Yeah,
Milan,
yeah, 100%.
the one who bought him. And
Yeah.
of course, down to our luck, Kessie ended up being a lot better player than Gagliardini. But
Which is not hard, by the way.
but seems like Gagliardini is leaving, and then like that's kind of fate that he should come and like fit that spot. So
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's confirmed. That's what I was saying. Like with Auxilio, once he has a name, like a player on his list, he doesn't. That list, it seems like it never changes. Like he remains on that list of Auxilio's like players that he keeps an eye on. So he's been a long time linked with Inter. Even last year when he signed for Barcelona, there were rumors that we were trying to, um, go in for him. But yeah, with Brozovic, he's got the same salary as Brozovic. So it looks like it could be that kind of Brozo out, Kessie in. What do you make of that? Like the potential Brozovic Kessie swap?
well, I think what it's gonna happen is they have to be careful with the way they want to write off the value for these players, especially with Juventus being under investigation. So
Yeah.
essentially, and I don't think Kessie is going to earn anything less than Brozovic. So we are not going to save anything. So if that's the case and it's a straight swap, it's a little bit hard for me to see that happen, because I think what's going to happen is they're trying to get some cash for
Yeah, yeah,
and also save some on the salary. So it's, I know it kind of makes sense, but with the current financial condition, for me it's a little bit hard to see that happen.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm confused about because if you're bringing in a guy that's got the same salary as Brozovic, then it doesn't make too much sense to me. Because from what I understand, he won't even get the growth decree benefits. He won't get those we won't get those tax savings anyway with Kessie. So it literally is the same salary as Brozovic. So yeah, I'm
The
struggling.
only way that it makes sense is if Barcelona they think that they evaluate Brozovic a little bit more than Kessie, so they give us like 10 million or something like that, then it might make sense. But a straight swap with no cash, it's really difficult to see that.
Yeah, no, 100%. It has to be Kessie plus money if it happens. If it's straight swap, then yeah, that's just like no point. Um, what about like if we Inter bring Fabian, the boy who's doing well at Regina? To me, quickly, my opinion is there's no point in bringing a guy as a sixth midfielder or fifth midfielder if he's not going to get that much playing time. He's just going to stagnate on the bench, and we know it seems like Inzaghi is not really suited for this kind of coaching, the bringing through youth. So to me, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if they do it, it'll be for saving money, which is fair play. If they're actually trying to save money, that this makes sense. But in terms of actual like impact and for Fabian himself, I don't really see the point. What do you think?
Is there something that I want to see happen and I would do if I was the coach, and that's bringing someone like that and give him minutes and make him help him grow in this team?
Yeah,
But Doggy, and the reality is what's going to happen is we're going to use this guy as a bargaining chip and make like a little bit cash on him, maybe 8 million, something like that, and then use that to pay off our bills.
yeah. Yeah, I can see Simi is a big proponent for Agume, but Agume, guys, he would be even a bigger problem because he's like Asllani, so he is. I really don't see him as a mezzala, so he is really like a CDM, he would be the vice Brozovic, Hakan, whatever you want to call him. So there's definitely no point of bringing Agume back, unfortunately. I really only see him in that role, whereas with Asllani, I actually see him, as we said, like in the other different roles. So Agume, hopefully, unfortunately, as it is, like just if he's performed well in Ligue 1, if anyone's interested, try to get whatever we can for Agume. Unfortunately, I did have some. Not like I didn't ever think he was going to be a starter for Inter, but I thought he could be an interesting rotation option for Inter at some point. But
It didn't work out.
he's never really convinced me, to be honest. I won't even be too harsh on the Agume thing. He's never convinced me too much. But then again, in the summer when we were playing those friendlies, I was like, he's doing okay. He's doing better than Gagliardini for sure. But yeah, it just seemed like they never really believed in Agume, which was a shame. Any thoughts on Agume?
I think with the model currently we have in Inter is none of these kind of project players will work for our system. Jan Carmo was another one. Agume is the other one. Comparing our team like with a team like Milan, even if we had the likes of Pierre Kalulu or CDK or Tonali, these I have to name Kalulu and Tonali because these two work out now. They are good players. We would not have given them enough time to develop to the players they are. So the challenge with us, it's either the culture of the team or the coaches we pick or the is on the team to get results. Is we can't sadly have these successful stories, even though as a team with our financial conditions, we really needed to be able to help players grow. But unfortunately, even if we bring all these players, and what's going to happen, and Inzaghi said, Inzaghi is just going to keep playing Barella and Mkhitaryan again and again and again and again until all of them are injured. And then they're going to be thrown into a team and they're not going to learn or be successful or grow in the team. So sadly, with the current financial condition, we just have to bring players that Inzaghi will, maybe if they're 24, 25, well established, maybe Inzaghi would accept them and play them, but not players in their earlier stages of career.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. We've talked about it a lot of times. Like it's a confusing project at the moment with Inter. It's like we're trying to save money, but we're still the second highest paid team in the league. And the moves that we're hearing in the transfer market still seems like we're gonna be still there. We're seeing like Napoli. They're like, I think I read the other day, I think they're like fifth or sixth their salary, and they're winning this league by that much. And then Milan last year they're like fourth, I think, in salary. So it's like if you look at it like performance, Inter right now are second. Last year we finished second, so you could say they're the second highest paid team, so they're performing to the level. But you're seeing that Milan are outperforming them. Napoli are outperforming them. Juve are the highest paid. They've been underperforming massively. So there must be, like, people always think there's no pressure on Inzaghi to perform just because things are not going, or Suning is not investing, Zhang's not investing, which is true. But at the same time, Zhang is looking and like, bro, I'm paying you guys a lot of money. Dzeko is paid 5 million net. Lukaku's paid 7 million net. Like, these guys are very handsomely paid. Obviously, they can go and get more money in Premier League, but in Serie A terms, these guys are very nicely paid. So there is still like weird, this project is weird. Like, as you said, we should be going for a little bit younger players, investing in these players being a little bit cheaper as well.
I think it's not only the coach to blame, because Pioli was our coach, but from his time, I don't remember Pioli playing a lot of younger players. Or
I mean, he was an interim coach. It was like, it's different than when you're like a interim coach. Why are you going to play youth? You just you're focused on just getting results. But yeah, you're right. Like, which is funny. If you follow Milan fans on Twitter, they're mad that Pioli wasn't playing this Malik Thiaw guy earlier, or like playing more. He's like, play the younger Adli, the guy they signed from Bordeaux. So they're like, even though they have one of the youngest teams in Europe, they still want him to play the younger players.
And CDK, like if CDK had 2 games like that in Inter, he was done and dusted.
Oh, he would have been booed off, like, it's
And he still played. He played. I think he started yesterday for Milan against Fiorentina as well, even though he's been on a horrible form.
yeah,
That's a challenge we're going to have, and with this ownership, if we cannot develop younger players, it's really, really difficult to create
yeah.
value.
Have a guess what the average age of the team was. The starting 11 was today.
30.6.
Not far, not far. 29.7. And this is yeah. I mean, if you put Handanovic in there, it probably would have been. Oh, it's crazy. The squad building, yeah, it's quite poor. The squad building in terms of age.
I think one area teams should do in general is invest into like the 15-year-olds, British players, bring them in, give them a couple of games, and if they're like a half bit decent, they're gonna be sold for 20 million.
Yeah. Premier League teams are gonna come in.
You kind of have to do that for them. I think Juventus is doing it with Illing. I think is also British or something.
Yeah,
and Allegri is giving him a lot of time. So probably Premier Leagues are gonna come for him for 30 million, and they're gonna make a lot of money. Sadly,
probably. You can see Bologna, like they're doing that, like they sold Aaron Hickey. They're getting all these like Scottish guys. They're going towards that for sure. We're going back into the game, Mehdi. Let's talk about who was the man of the match today. This is the FOTMob ratings. It looks like they gave it to Barella. I guess that's a good shout. Lautaro, Mkhitaryan, like who stood out for you? To me, I don't really know. It's hard to pick today a real standout player for me. Who would you say was man of the match? And what do you guys?
Actually, I agree with this. I think it was Barella. I think most of he was the engine of our team. A lot of things went through him. For me, it was Barella, but Lautaro, for me, he lost a lot of duels, and I don't like a lot of games when we lose duels like that.
Yeah,
we lose those games, and I do not like to see that. But again, he scored his goal, and that was a nice goal. I also want to give a shout to Bastoni. I think this year he's becoming more solid. He had like a very bad year last year, and he's the guy we can count on. And I hope we can extend his contract because we really, really need this guy.
Yeah, harsh rating. Yeah, I don't know why he got such a low rating here. 6.8. I think he was quite good, especially as usual going forward. He was his left foot is always really, really useful. Franco Barella and Lautaro. Yeah, Lautaro, I guess we could give it for the goal, but as Mehdi says, today it wasn't too great, like with his involvement around the box and stuff. Only 15 passes today, or 11 out of 15 passes. His overall play wasn't that good today. But yeah, I think I'll probably agree with you with Barella, to be honest. I think he added that extra bit of quality today. Dzeko got a really high rating. I don't know why. Dzeko was pretty. Let's see how many times he lost the ball today. 72% pass accuracy. Dispossessed twice. Only one aerial duel won. 5 recoveries. Maybe that's why they gave him all these ratings. Headed clearance. These are good numbers for a centre back. Tackles 1. So they probably gave him. Oh yeah, apparently he's going to be 37 in a few weeks as well, Dzeko, man. So average age keeps going up.
What do you think about their? Is it the Danish midfielder Humland? What do you think that guy? I think he's linked with Juventus now.
Yeah, he's been linked with a few teams. We were linked with him last year when he was in Serie B with Lecce as the vice Brozovic. He's a decent player. I don't think he's starting quality for a top team, but I think he's if you can get him for like 15-20 million as a backup to, he's very tough, very rugged, decent on the ball as well. I think he's a good rotation option. But with Asllani and Hakan and Brozovic is definitely not an area that we need to cover.
Same with Juventus, they have Rovella, who is doing absolutely great as well. People might as a Juventus fan, but I have an eye on our competitors to see how they're building their team. And Juventus again, they have their hands on Cambiaso is decent, Rovella. All these guys are playing. Unfortunately, our guys who are on loan, they're not playing.
Yeah, I think because speaking of Cambiaso, I think we got because we were close to signing Cambiaso because his agent came to ours, and it was between him and Bellanova, and I think we signed Bellanova because of the. I mean, it's funny to say now, but because of the Bremer, he's the same agent as Bremer, and we thought it was going to be like a little favor. Marotta trying to work his magic, obviously backfired. But Cambiaso, yeah, he looks like a young. He reminds me of Darmian, like very neat, tidy. Both footed, like nothing outstanding. Like, I don't think he's going to be like become the best wing back or left back in the world, but he looks like a guy that will turn into like a reliable player in the future. Whereas Bellanova, we know, is like definitely not ready for a team like Inter at the moment. But obviously Inzaghi's not helping either.
So I know you're going to do like a match, probably review for the Spezia, but do you think Inzaghi should rotate the team for Spezia or just go with the strongest lineup since the game is Friday and then we have time until our Champions League game?
Yeah, so we have Friday, so we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, with 3 days. I think there should be some rotation. I mean, if we look at what was the starting 11 today, what would I change from today? I think if Skriniar is back fit, I think like you need to get him back into match fitness. So I would definitely start Skriniar. I would continue maybe with Dumfries and rest Darmian. He's been one guy that's played a lot of games recently. So I would continue with Dumfries. And then the Acerbi one's always difficult because I always trust De Vrij, but he doesn't always repay that faith. But I don't want to also burn out Acerbi. I definitely want Acerbi to play against Porto. I don't want De Vrij against Porto. And then I would definitely Brozovic needs to play, man. Like if he thinks that this is our best midfield, then he needs to play Brozovic against Spezia. If that's his opinion, then at least play. I would rest Mkhitaryan and then play Brozovic next game. And then definitely Lukaku. It doesn't matter if Lukaku plays against Porto. He can play 2 games close by, like surely. So that's probably the changes I would make. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think Barella got his rest. He can probably play for us. Plus, he's a very important
guy who Corboni's birthday.
There you go. At least someone feels for Carboni. But to be serious, I think if he thinks that the trio is his midfield, either to me, I would personally rest Hakan and play Brozo, and then start Hakan, Brozo, Barella against Porto. But since he's not doing that, then hey, yes, you might need to rest Mkhitaryan. Hopefully, at the minute 60, something like that, the game is in a way that we can also sub out Hakan because he needs rest. We know from then that he likes to rest Hakan a lot, and again, yes, Lukaku, Lautaro, they need to still get back to building that chemistry. So I want them to start together. I would not rest Lautaro and then start. If Lukaku is decent against the Spezia, start Lautaro, Lukaku on the back. You're absolutely right. De Vrij needs to step in for Acerbi, but then the risk is if you want to change 2 out of 3 in the back from the game that we had a clean sheet, it might be too much. So
what about Correa? No time for Correa coming back from injury.
Well, if I was the manager, I would start Carboni, play Carboni before Correa. Correa had his chance. I don't hate him as much as the average Inter fan does, but he's definitely been a flop, and Carboni needs to play more minutes than Correa. So that's an opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, definitely I would start Lukaku both games now. He he needs to pay back the loan fee. I mean, he kind of already has with the first goal. So if you can get another one and get us to the next round, that's like there's 20 million that he cost. Boom, he's paid us back. For today's match, also one thing I wanted to point out, maybe, is like we didn't really concede too much, which is good. Like in terms of, I was scared of Lecce on the counter attack. But according to the XG, we didn't create too much either. But at least I wasn't worried today at any point from Lecce. Like there wasn't any like crazy counter attacks where Bastoni's like 70 yards up and we're caught on the counter attack, things like that. So that was one good sign for
Can
me.
you bring Lecce's away form? Because to me, Lecce's home is just, they're pretty much like us. Their home form, I think it's a ton better than their away.
Yeah.
So it's something that we need to probably consider as well in their performance. But yes, you're right. They didn't let them consider a lot. I think one main reason was I don't think they had a ton of pace on their front. And we know from our defenders, if the opposition doesn't have a lot of pace in their front line, I think usually our defense does a good job dealing with them.
I think that front three has decent pace, like Di Francesco, Strefezza, and they started Asan Cisse instead of Colombo, who's quicker than Colombo. So I think they were trying to definitely, try to hit us. So yeah, but they're not like the quickest guys, yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point out, like, today was like stress-free in terms of there was no heart attack moments today. Like even you remember the Udinese game, like there were so many opportunities for Udinese like to come back into that game. So there wasn't any moments like that, at least today. That's the most important thing.
Going back to the Lukaku thing, I think he made the meme out of the Chelsea. Apparently, Lukaku has scored more goals than the entire Chelsea $1 billion squad.
Which is not hard. Which is not hard.
So joke is now back on Chelsea, and that worked out for Lukaku.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's so funny, man. Those guys down, struggling so bad. Sofa score. SofaScore's given their man of the match to Lautaro. Oh, Gosens got like a really low rating on here for some reason, which was yeah. Well, I guess by their standards, he didn't complete any crosses. Only one long ball completed, so that's maybe why. But we lost possession 17 times. It's quite a lot. But no, I was impressed by Gosens. What about Onana didn't really have too much to do, so we don't really need to talk about Onana too much, to be honest. No, pretty good around. I'm pretty happy today. Nothing to really complain about, in my opinion, from the boys today. Let me see post-match comments if we. Oh, I think it's my internet. Can you hear me, Mehdi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I think my internet there just had a little fault moment. Let's get the interviews up with. Let's see.
Your internet is a moment just like Lautaro sometimes.
So their goalkeeper said Mkhitaryan's goal was impossible to stop. Compliments to him. Darmian is speaking. What is my role? My role, I place myself at the coach's disposal and the team's disposal, both as a wing back and as a centre back. In training, I try to improve aspects of being centre back and the wing back. I try to be ready. Yeah, what a guy, man. Matty Dams, what a guy. We need to improve. Yeah, going back to your point about us being really bad away, we need to improve our away form. Playing at San Siro is something special. We know it. It gives us an extra push, but we need to do this everywhere, 100%. Darmian always says the right thing, man. Oh wait, he's talking about Asllani as a Midzala. Let's see what he says. So Asllani, he can do it. Okay, so he's admitted that he can do it. Oh, so that's a start, Mehdi. That's a start. He can do it, but his role is a play, which means in Italian, play is like a playmaker.
Mhm.
So Regista, he's alternating with Brozovic, and he's not alternating clearly with Brozovic and Çalhanoğlu, even playing midfielder. Oh, so in training he does play him as a mezzala. Okay, interesting. He needs to continue training as he is doing. What do you think of that, Mehdi?
Well, sadly I'm not in training, but that's not going to do anything for us because other clubs and other teams will see our players in the games, and sadly they're not getting any time.
Yeah. So he's lying to us. Let's see what else he's saying. Yeah, no, I agree, Mattia. Who is the starting regista? I would choose from time to time. That's his like favorite saying. I'm happy because I can choose. And let's not forget that Asllani is there too. uh, the reason why we forgot, bro, because of you. You're the one who's making us forget about Asllani. Uh, well, obviously, with Brozovic on the bench, he's the one to take over. Luckily, I can choose. Yeah, it's dead reply. Ooh, speaking on Dumfries did very well last year and before the World Cup. He came back a bit exhausted after the World Cup, but he's coming back. He did a great second half. Yep, I agree with that. Although I don't agree that he was doing well before the World Cup. He was having even before the World Cup, he was having a bit of a down season this year. Oh, of course, he spoke about Correa. Excellent game from Dzeko. Another lie. Always at the service of the team. Now Correa is back too. We'll have everyone available. Yay! We need everyone. Oh God, this guy. Gosens. Oh, interesting. So Gosens is convincing me from a long time. Again, not really showing us that really by his choices. I'm really enjoying him in training. He's satisfying me a lot, even when he comes in as a substitute. He had a great match, but he already did very well in Bologna. Well, this is true. At least I can't, yeah, say anything about that. What do you make of that now? Like, it's starting to become like before. It was like Dimarco, 100%. He was just too good, or or the Gosens just wasn't good enough. Is there doubts in your mind like where it could be like 50-50?
I think it match to match, yes. I think Gosens has a little bit more to offer defensively and
Mm,
Dimarco offensively. So maybe in games that they have physical right wingers, or we need to do like better defensively, we can
mm,
count Gosens a little bit more than Dimarco, especially on the aerial ability. Gosens has been fantastic winning aerial duels. So I think in those games maybe Gosens can get the nod over Dimarco.
mm. But who do you prefer personally out of the two?
I think again, I'll go back to my point. Depends on the game, but if
Mm,
I just have to say, okay, keep one and sell the other one, in terms of Dimarco being homegrown player, a little bit younger, I would
mm.
keep Dimarco and sell Gosens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think yeah. If any offer again, Dumfries is probably the one. But if an offer comes for Gosens, I would also definitely consider that in the summer. Um, Definitely. And then the other ones are not too interesting. Gosens spoke himself as well. Let's get a look at what Gosens said. Um, he's usually got nice words as well. So after Bologna, we said keep quiet and pedal, which like is like in Italian is like keep quiet and just work hard, like get on your bike and just pedal. This is the only way you can win in Serie A. Then they asked him, I didn't want to leave the pitch. Of course, I also want to suffer on the pitch to improve. I need continuity. Yeah, this is the first time that he started 2 games in a row. He said, "My future only Inter." This is the first time at Inter they started 2 games in a row, which is crazy to think about when you think when we signed Gosens. Uh,
Yes, and I'm happy for him. Like
yeah.
Argentina, we also have a German connection at Inter,
Mm,
especially 90s. So I'm happy that finally we have a German player in our squad. So again, if you have to choose to sell between Dumfries and Gosens, I would personally sell Dumfries. But again, if we can also get some cash back, more than 20 million to invest it, we can invest, but at least to avoid selling other players, then it's great that he's gaining back his form, so we can do that.
yeah. No, I agree. It's yeah, nice words from everyone in Doggy, everyone's. But yeah, need to keep going now. Spezia on Friday, so yeah, a little bit of a quicker turnaround for Inter, and then we have Porto, biggest match of the season for sure for us. Um, yeah, leave us with your prediction for Spezia and Porto, Mehdi.
I for Spezia, I think it's going to be a hard fought game, but I think we can come out of that hopefully 1-0. But I think my heart says 2-1 us. So hopefully we can keep the clean sheet, but we'll win by 1 goal. For Porto, oh, it's a difficult one, but I would say 1-1, and then we'll go to the next round.
All right, so we just about get the job done. They're gonna make us suffer right until the end. You predict? Yeah.
That's
To be fair, that's quite enjoyable in Champions League. Like those kind of like
yeah.
gritty, tough wins. Like just getting the result. Like us at the Camp Nou on the Mourinho. Like just those types of stuff. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'm on a similar vibe to you. To be honest, I don't think we're gonna like be great away at Porto, but we'll probably get the job done. And what about the game later today between Roma and Juventus? Prediction for that?
I hate to say it, but it might be one of those 1-0s for Juventus.
Uh,
Hate to say.
you're like a secret Allegri fan, aren't you?
I'm definitely not, but uh, I see him, and it's very weird that he has this conservative Allegri style. At the same time, he plays all these young players, so
Yeah.
I don't quite know what's going on in his head, being that conservative but playing young players. But he has some things that I think we can other coaches can learn about, but it's sad, but it's working for them, and we are just lucky about that 15 point thing. I hope it sticks because we definitely need it until the end of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if Juve come back into the top four race, then it makes life difficult for everyone involved. And yeah, what do you make of the top four race? I predicted Inter to finish second by the end of the season. Where do you predicting Inter to finish?
I agree. I think it's going to be a very difficult battle for top four. We'll see where Juventus will end up, even if they get like maybe they give them back 6 points or something like that, so they can come up a little bit more. But we're just lucky that the opposition are just losing points as bad as we
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
But yeah, maybe Milan can come to third and Lazio finishes fourth, but we can also I see Roma also getting the fourth. I'm a Mourinho fan, and in terms of like other Inter, I would prefer Roma over Napoli or Juventus or Milan or anyone else. So
yeah. No, it's gonna be very entertaining race. Definitely, that's one thing. Obviously, the title race is over, but at least the top four race will be very entertaining.
would you take Mourinho back at Inter instead of Inzaghi?
The
You
thing, yeah, the thing is, it's just I don't want his legacy to be tarnished. I just don't want like Mourinho for me. Like it needs to be just that treble. Those 2 years just need to be like cemented forever. I don't want him to do like how Mancini came back and it just kind of like was just okay. And especially like with this current situation with the current ownership is just I don't think it doesn't benefit anyone. But I think he would do a job, Mourinho. Like people think he's dusted. I think he would do defensively for sure. We would concede a lot less goals. I mean, this guy's made Mancini and Ibanez and Smalling turn into like a good defense. So I'm sure we'd concede a lot less goals.
Yeah, and I think, and I hats off to Marotta for not taking Tammy as a part of Lukaku deal, because I remember Chelsea was trying to do that, partial money, partial Tammy. So seeing his form this year, hats off for Marotta to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even look like Roma have upgraded on Dzeko, but the looks of it with Tammy. I mean, last year he had a good season, but this year, yeah, it's been but at least he still has value though. Tammy, you have like he still has
Player, yes.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, apparently they have this. Chelsea has a buyback clause of like 60 or 70 million, which I wouldn't put it past Chelsea to do something like that these days. They're so desperate. Um, yeah, no, the one Mourinho's like, yeah, just that perfect legacy to remain intact. But yeah, if it comes to again, how we spoke about the Kessie Brozovic rumors, in the Italian media, I just see things are brewing towards that direction for some reason. So if it does happen, I wouldn't be against it for sure. I mean, in terms of Interismo, his charisma, his just the way he would defend our club. Finally, someone defending our club in the media as well. Like that would be a great step. So let's see. But we continue on the Inzaghi train, on the Limone ball train. We'll back him until Limone is here at Inter for sure. But yeah, Mehdi, thank you very much for joining me. Very much enjoyed your company. Where are you joining us from, by the way?
I'm based on Charleston, South Carolina, United States.
Nice. But no, thank you very much for joining me. Any parting words from you?
No, again, thank you very much. Thank you for building this great community. I think it's one of the communities that I really enjoy being a part of. Everybody is very knowledgeable, and we definitely need each other as Inter fans because we know it's a lot of times things don't go our way. So it's great to have this. Hopefully, you get to 5,000. I'm looking forward to 10,000, and we grow both as this community and also as a club.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully, definitely. Thank you very much, bro, for the nice words. And thank you for joining me today, providing lots of nice commentary and knowledge to the people. And thank you, everyone at home or wherever you are joining us in the live stream with your comments. I always appreciate you all. Mattia, thank you always for reminding the people about liking and subscribing to the channel, and everyone else that did that. And yeah, before you leave, make sure you leave that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you for the Spezia preview. So we're playing Friday, so expect the preview on Thursday evening after work for me. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.
Forza Inter.